Hey guys, so if you would please watch this video to the end there. I got some kind of terrible news on what went down after the guy picked his seat up. Just to kind of give some fair warning to people that do own bikes and ride bikes and stuff like that. Plus, these videos take forever to edit and make and stuff like that, so I'd really greatly appreciate it if you guys, watch through them as much as you can. It just helps me out a ton. It really does. The watch hours count. So even if you're setting it down and not watching it all, I know these videos don't interest everybody, but if you do want to help out, you can just play it and let it play there, and then just go to the parts you want to see, But yeah, watch to the end, and I got some news there for you guys. Thank you again. All right, welcome back, guys. We're going to go ahead and, this is a different Harley seat. This is off my buddy's here. This is a little bit more difficult here. It's kind of a two pieces into one. It's just a single seat, but if you guys watch the other video, it's this piece and that, but this is all together. Plus he's got backrest. I think we're going with, I know we're going to go with some Gator on the sides, and I need to get a hold of them. I'm not quite sure, but I think we're going with baby ostrich, this burgundy, because he has some reds in his bike, but we're going to go with that baby ostrich for the tops. And I don't know for sure yet, but I think I'm going to do some diamond patterns in it. So we'll see. But I do have to pull out all these staples again.
Boo-hoo! Boo-hoo-hoo!
I'm not going to go through all that on camera. So I'll get all these things stripped down. I'll get them cut apart, get it steamed so we can make our patterns, and then I'll bring you guys back.
Smash like.
And then I'll know a little bit more on the what we're doing for sure on the tops. I'm almost sure it's the baby ostrich, but I got some other stuff over there too. It looks kind of, it's pretty nice stuff too, but I'll find out when I get that far, but bring you guys back here shortly. All right, I got the bottom skirt off that goes underneath where you staple into. So I figured out what the colors are going to be. So it is the Gator on the sides.
If you see red eyes, it's a gator.
And then this stuff here, it's like a burgundy with a nice heavy grain in it. So what we're going to do with this is, I'm probably going to make some diamond patterns. Like this will be our Gator on the sides. The very bottom we'll just use that smooth black to staple to. You don't see it. But the tops here, the bigger portion of it is going to be that burgundy, in the front and back here, or back in the front. And then I'm going to do, not sure what design yet, but there's definitely going to probably be some diamond pattern in it. So I'm going to finish getting these. The steamer's warming up now. I'm going to finish getting these cut out. I'm going to steam them out, and then we're going to start making our patterns and figure out from there what's what. So be back shortly. Just wanted to give you guys a little update. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We've got most of our patterns cut out. These will be on the outside of the diamond stuff. Here's our side Gator, and then what we'll do is, here's our pattern. I'll sew that in, like probably with some black thread, because I'm going to go red on the black, vice versa. I'm going to try to, I think I got a burgundy, something close to this up there that we can put on the black to make it look, So then once these are sewed in, and you can see I use the thicker sew foam, so when we sew these, they'll be nice and plush looking. And after we sew them, then we'll take these and trace our pattern out, and then I'll sew around that, and then I'll cut it. That way it stays together, wherever the sewing stops. You'll see as I'm doing it. And the reason why you got to sew it first is because when you sew all that, it's obviously your material is going to shrink in a little bit on both sides, because you're sewing into it. It's going to pull it and pull it. So you don't want to cut it out first, then do your pattern, because then you're going to end up being short on your sides. Not by a bunch, but probably about as much as your your sew foam, or where you're going to sew edge, probably about a ½ inch. And you're probably saying, well, why don't you just add a ½ inch around the whole thing? Well, I would if I knew that every time you did it, that was going to be a ½ inch, because it may be different, because of the way I drew it out. So better safe than sorry, sew it first, then do it. That way it's perfect size after you're done with it. So anyways, we're running out of time today. We got pretty far though. He's needing to take this bike, I guess, on Wednesday. Today's Monday, and so I'm gonna at least try to get the main seat done for him. The backs we can do, in a day or so. But I'll bring you back tomorrow when we're sewing this. That way I'll take you through the process. If you're interested and you haven't seen the other Harley seat video, go back and look at it. It shows me gluing, like the foam and stuff, and how I went through doing all that, and some of the staple pulls, somehow I cut all the material parts, somehow, and how I steamed it. So I just didn't want to do that in both videos. You know, there's no sense in it. That video's got all that. So, but there's different stuff in this video. So I think it'll be cool to kind of collaborate with both videos off of each other type of thing, you know, so.
Blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, I'll bring you back tomorrow when we're doing this right here, and we're gonna get this thing looking pretty cool. Thanks again. All right, we're gonna start sewing these things up here. I'm gonna try to start with the furthest. Hopefully this don't mess with my mic. All right, here we go. When we're done, we'll take a rag and wipe off all the chalk. Thing I do here, I just try to stay as steady as I can. The only thing that sucks about this is you got to remember to check your bobbin, because I don't want to hit that other camera, because you will run out in the middle, and then you got to do that one trick I showed you guys where you in the last video, where you tie the and then we'll check it. Stick with these shorter ones for a minute. Hang it up. Nope. You'll see what I mean by the nice and plush look on the diamonds when we get done. For some reason that's acting funny when I lock stitch it. I don't know why. Let me try it again here. That one didn't do it. This machine's funny.
It's so funny.
It sews good. Don't get me wrong on that, but yeah, and the other thing that sucks about this is you got to be careful not to wipe all your chalk off by the time you get to that point. Try to be careful not to touch it, but this diamond pattern is a pretty hot thing right now. Everybody's wanting it in the cars and the bikes and the whatever. It is the thing to do, I guess. Let's try to get this long one here. Yeah, this quiet motor that's on here, it's also it is real sweet actually. It's so variable, meaning I can barely touch the pedal and it'll barely, look at that, I can go one click at a time or super fast. And it also has a settings knob on it where I can change that even faster if I want it faster. But I got it set like on a, I don't know, medium. Hopefully I ain't messing with the sound too much. I've been having so much sound problems and battery problems. You can already actually see the material starting to like shrink. That's why I was saying before, you want to do this first before you trace your pattern. Well, guess what? That was awesome. We ran out right there at the end. That'll probably never happen again. Yeah, if you see, I already started my new bobbin there. It's already ready to go for the next round. That's why I always like to wind it while I'm sewing. That way you're never waiting on any. Luckily we ran out at the end, so then we would have had to try to catch it right on one of the holes, which is not very difficult, but you can see how much lighter the chalk lines are now because I've been touching it and pushing it and bending it and everything else. We're done now. And I'll show you how how good that looks with the thicker sew foam. You can do it with the thinner stuff too, like if you're doing insets on door panels and stuff and you don't want them as thick. This is good for seats and certain things. I don't know, a lot, just preference really. All right, I'm gonna spin you around this way. I'm just gonna show you guys how this looks. You can probably see it from there. It looks really good. These are cool to do. Any kind of a design. You can, I got a plotter and sometimes I'll take the, and make like lettering, and I'll cut it out of that first so I got perfect letters, and then I'll trim it out of vinyl, put it onto some pad, cut that out real nice, and then I'll sew around it, and then you got some, you know, you could do whatever you want, like a figure, or I've done all kinds of like emblems. But check that out. You could probably see how thick it looks. That's way nicer. Kind of looks like, what's that one game? Sonic. Sonic! Bing, 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 bing. All right, so now here's what I was talking about, why we do this first. So now when we take our thing, I'm going to try to get it to where it's an even diamond, like up through the middle. You know what? Let me fold this over and make that so I know where the center is. Will be the center here, and that will be the center up there. Okay. So now when we draw this, I know I got enough over here for that. Oh yeah, put that in the center there. I'm actually gonna, we'll do this one first. This is gonna be my, I'll show you here in a minute. Get my notches in it. All right, I left some here because I'm gonna sew. I'm gonna sew around this so when I cut it, our threads don't come out where, you know, the diamonds stop. They'll all be closed. You know, you'll see here in a minute what I'm talking about if you don't understand it yet. This is a lot more work, but it looks pretty cool when you're done with it. I probably should have sharpened my chalk to a point. That way I could have got some cleaner lines, but I've done this so many times. I'm used to what I got to do. Okay. Some of these notches are going to fall in the thread path. I've seen a couple. I'm going to have to be careful. All right. What we want to do. This is going to be fun.
Was that fun or what? Huh?
Because I don't want to lose my marks. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and cut some of this out. All right, so what I want to do is sew just on the back side of this line, because I'm going to be cutting right on the other side of it. So we're kind of splitting the difference. It's real easy. Follow your, we're still going to go in a little bit from there. Like I said, this is just to lock the, so we don't lose none of our threads. I'll show you here in a minute. So basically, I don't care what happens on the outside of this line. It's on the inside. We don't want it to fall apart or start to come apart. Meaning, I mean, get one more down here, right across. Give us a bottom. Okay. Now, when we cut this, we'll cut it just on the outside of that, right, basically on that, right beside it, just right beside it. You don't want to cut it, but you want it to match your pattern that you drew. So I'm just giving it a little hair more. This is gonna be underneath your other material. This is just to hold us together. And the bottom. Okay. I don't want to wipe my marks off. I'm getting ready to do something with them, but you see what I'm saying? It's all locked in, you know what I mean? So when I sew my other one on, I'm not gonna notch these marks. All I'm gonna do with them is just make sure they're there for me. I can go ahead and do that actually, just so that's done. I ain't gotta worry about it. Where do I want to start? We'll start over here. I am gonna top sew this, so we do want to have enough for that. All right, same thing now. We gotta just follow along. always keep your needle in the material, especially if you got to do some turns. Let me see where I'm at on this middle. Yeah, I think we're gonna hit it. Okay. Let me get a little couple relief cuts in it. Turn it a little easier for you, just like that. Get a few more in it. I already know where my things are, my marks. Just like that. Now we'll top sew that, and that's, let me see how cool that looks to you. Looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and do our top sew. I don't think, I can't really, that's the thing about these bobbins here. I don't not like them because they're solid. I like the ones that have a slot in them because you can see it, but oh well, let's risk it. I'm feeling risky. Trying to keep an eye on my thread too. I hope I don't run out. We made it. Now check that out. That's gonna be pretty badass. Hope you guys can see that in the camera. Looks pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the big one. We don't need to do it on camera. I wanted you guys to see what I'm doing, and that's why I did it. And then I'll bring you back here in a few. I don't know why it does that sometimes. I can go easy 95% of the time, and then all of a sudden one time the pedal will be like, hey. My wife said she can see I haven't learned how to turn my phone down yet or take off my notifications. It's just I forget to cut them back on. So that's why they're on, honey. I'm praying this thread lasts to the end here for the top sew. We don't want no. Oh man, right at the end. I gotta go back and hit like, dang. All right, so I'll show you what we gotta do here now. Well, I already did it once, but this one's gonna be a little bit tougher because I gotta go back a few threads on the side that I thought it was gonna be getting close. I felt it. Man, oh man. Well, let me change this out real quick. Okay, so we ran out of thread. I had to do the tie the knot at the bottom trick. This is our bigger cover. Let's go put it on there and see what it all looks like. It's actually going to be pretty sharp. Okay, this will go through. That'll go through there. I know I'm feeding it now. I'm going to make myself work harder, but let's see what it looks like. Okay, and this one we have to sew this way. I think it was with these right here, or up this way. Yep, we got to sew these with these lines. So when that flips over, the other one will go down that way. And then our gator is going to go, let me see if I got this one right. Yep, it'll go right there on the side. Kind of give you an idea what it's going to look like. Well, it's falling apart on me.
She's falling apart.
Let me sew this back on real quick so it's all one piece, and then I'll bring you guys back when we're putting the gator on it. Give me a few. So I went ahead and sewed the two together. Now I'm finishing the gator up on the sides. I'm top stitching now. I did pretty much of that off camera. I didn't want to burn up time for some stuff we've already seen, but it's just different materials, you know. But I figured I'd let you guys catch the end of it here, and then all we got to do is make our the bottom tribute. So on the black, if you see, I don't know if you can see it yet, but I did the burgundy stitching, red, burgundy, whatever you want to. And then on the burgundy, we did the black. So like we said we was going to do, that way we're bringing out the color, you know what I'm saying, accenting both with both colors. And you got to keep this gator's hard to work with because it's got so many patterns in it, but the end result is what matters. All right, there we have it. Try to give you guys a look at it before we put it on the seat. So there's our, I don't know if you could see that, the burgundy stitching. Yeah, you can kind of see it. And then of course we got the black and the burgundy. Let me bring you guys back over here and we'll kind of try to fit it on here a little bit. Okay, so that'll go in there. And these will go in here. Just try to give us an idea, you know what I mean? Of course we know from the last that we did, we ain't going to see the true result until it's nice and tight on there, but here's what we're looking like. Not bad at all. That's going to look pretty cool.
That looks cool.
That is going to be pretty nice. Quite a bit of work, you know, trying to get all this kind of stuff that goes down in the holes and to pull it and get it right. But it pays off when you're done. After it's all on there looking good. It's hard to do what you want it to when the other side's still up, you know. You got to kind of get both sides going like that. It's going to be pretty cool. All right, yeah, so this part here that goes, you know, on the bottom of this is the old one. We'll go ahead and take these apart and make us and use these as a template so we can make it out of the same soft black material. That's just for the bottoms where it staples. So, and we'll go ahead and top sew. I may just do black all the way around it because it's going to be at the bottom. There's no sense in switching it all back out in the machine. It's a lot of work changing the thread over. So we'll just do all that at the bottom in black thread. But yeah, I'll bring you guys back. I'm running out of time today, so we'll finish her up tomorrow. And then all we got to do is this little back rest. Like I said, I might try to get 1 or 2 done tomorrow. We'll see. I got a bunch of stuff going on, but we'll see if we can finish it all up tomorrow. Cool. See you guys tomorrow. Okay, we're going to go ahead and, sorry if it's a little, I got the heater on. It's a little chilly this morning.
Man, it's cold.
We're going to go ahead and get these little ones steamed out so we can make our patterns on these and then get these sewed on there and get this bad boy on. The seat's looking pretty good. On this big one here, the one right there, I'm thinking about cutting it in the middle there and making two pieces out of it. I don't know what, and this one here I'm thinking about making one piece out of. I don't know why they got it in so many pieces.
Trust your engineer.
That's wasting a lot of material to cut it out all in one like that, because I can put those, I'll show you when I lay it out, but in this one here, I don't know, it just didn't make sense to cut this apart. So I'm going to make that in one piece and this one in two. Maybe it's the way the factory was doing it when they make the seats. I don't know. They do weird things like that. Yeah, that's just wasting material. If I had to cut that whole thing out like that, I mean, look, you got to keep it at the weight that it is like that. That's a big piece of material. Where if I cut it in the middle right here and sew it back together, just like the rest of it sewed together, it's not like you're weakening and making anything worse. But okay, yeah, I think I'm going to cut that right down the middle, right? And then I'll add a 1/2 inch to each side of that for the sew. No matter what, whenever you make a pattern, unless it's a pattern that was made before, like if you're making a new pattern, you always add a 1/2 inch because you're going to sew that together. So, and I'll show you what I mean by this here now. On if I would have done that in one piece, it would have wasted the material bad. So I got to get some more of this stuff. I like this. This is a good material here. Okay, so we want to put these face up. So here, look, see, now I can put the other one beside it down here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Whoop. And we're only going to waste this little bit here and teeny bit on the end. Where if I would have had that thing laid out, we would have been losing the complete middle. You know, that would have been not good. Let's try to take this one. No matter what, well, I can always just keep this just like a U. That's what we'll do. Okay, that's better. Once again, I should have just went ahead and did this off. There's no sense in me doing all this off camera or on camera. So I'm going to go ahead and get these drawn out and cut out, and then I'll bring you guys back. It's like I said, it's in the previous video, and it's all going to just be a long waste of time. So I'll be back to you guys shortly. Okay, we got all of our pieces cut. I went ahead and changed the black back over. Let's go ahead and sew them up. Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks about doing the different colors of thread. You got to change everything out. You know, some guys leave the bottom thread. I want to wind another bobbin there. Yeah, some guys leave the bottom thread black or whatever's in it because most of the time you can't see it anyways. So they, instead of wasting the time and the effort, just leave it, you know. I'm also going to go ahead and top sew all this stuff like the last one just to make it stronger. That's just something I do. Some people do it, some people don't, but I like it because it gives you a little more strength. And this one, remember, it used to be a one piece. Now we made it two, and I added a 1/2 inch to each side there so we can make it back to the original size. Same pattern, just we split it to save on material. And I don't know why they don't. That's got to be costly as many as they do, you know. I don't know how many seats the factory does. Oh, there it goes. Okay, in case you were wondering, it did it again. This thing, I'll never buy another FAF. Like I said, it sews good, but this jam up thing it does, I don't know. And I've called and asked, and they don't have no logical explanation for it. It just, I do not like it. You got to be so careful starting your thread and finishing it for that matter, because sometimes it gets a weird feel at the end too, which I think that's bull crap.
That's total crap.
I mean, it shouldn't be doing that. Like I said, that one, it ain't never done it. Never. And I mean, I just ripped through that thing. That thing's a tank. I got nothing but good to say about that. Why am I using this one? Because I spent the money on it thinking, you know, I want to use my new machine. Why not, you know? And that's the only problem I have out of it, though. So take that with what do they say, a fine grain of salt. But still, it shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so we're back to our one piece again with that. Oh, I'm way out of camera. So So now we're good. Now we'll sew these to it. Yeah, I don't know why they made a mark in this one, but not on these. Not that, I mean, that's what I was saying. This is what I argue about every time. You don't need them marks for everything, you know what I mean? Because obviously it lines up right there. If you're the guy doing it, you know this is where it goes. So go ahead and do this one real quick. That way all we have is the one that's closed. Yeah, you're supposed to be able to just keep running it through with the way I'm doing this thread at the end, but I'm afraid this thing will just keep jamming up, so I'm trying to be as careful. There it goes. Yep, just did it again. Unbelievable. I mean, wow. All right, be back in a minute. Yeah, I wish I could take it back, you know, but I bought it so long ago, and then it's just freight, shipping. I'm sure if that would have, but like I said, I didn't get to really start sewing with it until probably, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks to a month after I owned it. Probably about a month. So I was probably far outside of my return policy, if there was any. You know, I bought it from a, what do you call that? Or somebody like not a vendor, but I can't think right now. Let's see. I'll do it this way. Get our last top sew in, and then we'll sew it on the bottom of the thing, and we're ready to mount it. Yeah, I'm so afraid to start even. It's so weird. And all it does is it's I'll have to show you guys one time. You just have to push this head back, and it's just a little thing you push in and get it back in gear, get it back in alignment. Just roll that around and it clicks back in alignment. I think what I'll do, I'll go ahead and get this thing sewed up off camera, because it's like I said, it's the same old deal. I can start it that way. Same old deal. To sit here and watch me sew all this. We'll get it started though. Start a little bit past. Yeah, when I first started doing upholstery work, I knew absolutely nothing about it, and I kept, you know, just teaching myself. And the thing then was the consos. That was, everybody was showing what consos, that or mainly the a lot of guys had the Jukies, and I've always wanted one. Like I said, I let this guy talk me into this thing, thinking he's got to know what he's talking about. And there was some people with you know, good decent reviews, so that's obviously why I got it. But um, I never thought that, you know, it would be like this, where I'm constantly having to, you know, flip that head over just to, you know, because it's knocking out a gear or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. Guess if you guys noticed, this doesn't have 1,000 lineup marks in it. It's just got them like every, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches or so, which is perfect. You know, you don't need them every 6 in a row. You know, it's just, it can be confusing sometimes when you're doing it, because trying to find the start and the stop, or, you know, where to start, like eventually you find it. But I guess we're gonna go ahead and just finish sewing this on video. We're about done, right? This ought to be a pretty sweet seat here. I'm glad he went with this stuff. It's been a while since I'd done I'd done a, you know, like a one like this with all the work being done to it. Most of the guys just want plain. They don't care, you know. See, these two are a little bit off, but I'm pulling on the top one, pushing on the bottom just a little, and it's already back in line, because you can see this next one's about to hit. I was talking, and my lower hand tends to want to pull a little more sometimes. It's a habit I need to break, really. I was getting ready to do it again. Okay, I went ahead and got that right. and we went ahead and top stitched the bottom of that too. Just more strength, plus it looks better. I always do it. Most people don't. If you look on the bottom of seats, they're just sewed over, but I do it because, you know what I mean? I want it to be just the best that it can be without running into any issues. So our steamer's rolling. I got some air in the compressor line. Hopefully it's enough. I'm actually going to just try to, this one shouldn't be as tough getting on the seat as the other one because it's got a nice opening in it, and there's two places that have to go through slots. So the way the seat's built, should I say, but we'll still get it warmed up a little bit. Of course, we'll steam it after too. I probably need to put this in there, at least start it. And then this one, we'll slip it on, get it somewhat in place. Yeah, the nice thing about these, they do have a little bit of give in them for bending, but they're still, you still got to work them on there. Let me get this heated up here. We may have to put, you know what? Yeah, we got to put the back on first. There's no way. Or I can leave it, yep, and do it like that. That way we can get this one started. I think it's going to look pretty cool. Yep, that's more like it. Get all this through. I might need to take that one off like I did the other one. We'll see. I hope not, because it's riveted. I didn't want to have to. Maybe not. We'll just keep working with it. That one's through. Still, yep. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get some heat in this. Like I said before, you don't want to rip this. Spend all that time, and I've done it. Yeah, ask me how I know. People say, you make that look easy. Well, it's just like anything else. People are bank tellers and people are barbers and all that stuff, and they make it look easy. I can't do it. I mean, if I wanted to go get the profession, you know, the trade, I'm sure you'd learn it, but everything's got a thing to it, method. Let's try that. Get on there. Don't give me no problems. We're too far now. Whew, that's going to look pretty cool. Yes, it is. You're already starting to take shape. I think they just had this. Yeah, they had one going back like that, and the other one that way because the pocket or the thing comes through it. And same with this. That's got to go first, and then that one goes over that one way up there. Okay, we'll get those stapled. I want to make sure I got all these on. Man, that looks cool. All right, let's see how much air we got in our stapler. First one's first. Let's do, I'm going to fold that over too. Give us more of a stronger material that it's hitting into. And then we'll take this one up to there. Oh, out of staples. Okay, that freaking, what do you call it? It's got my nose running. I don't remember how far they had that one. Well, let me get the back one first. That'll kind of give us an idea. And those went up. I know it's probably hard to see from there, but I'll show you guys once I get it. That's a good strong material too, that red. Anything with a heavy grain will have a good effect to it. I can maybe even get a couple more down through there. Okay, on those, I think they just, yeah, just goes through it. You can kind of see your holes where it was, so it's not, you know, super difficult to figure out how it all goes back together. Yeah, I think that's good there. I was having a hard time cutting that back on again. I don't know why. We'll get this steamed out, and then we'll do a little bit of pushing around. You got to try and be quick with it, because she'll want to relax. It'll want to relax, you know. And like I said, once he sits in it and the sun hits it and all that, it'll reform again. It'll go through its reforming, however you want to call it. Man, that looks good. Let's go ahead and get some on the sides. Get that gator relaxed a little bit.
Just relax.
Try to relax this a little bit more. And that's all we're doing. We're just relaxing the material so it can shrink and set again. I'm going to try to get a clip with it on the bike. The bike's pretty cool. It's got, he put like an air ride on it, and where it comes down and sits straight on a kickstand. Pretty wild. It's a new bike. It ain't been that long since he's got it. Try to relax some of this under here too. Help it set. There we go. Like I said before, that gator is real real tough to work with just because of all the different patterns in it and stuff. So it's like, I'm going to try to get a staple in these two little corners here. One there, another one there. Okay. But yeah, it's got all them different patterns in it. So when you're sewing and trying to do anything with it, it's not like the smooth stuff, as you can imagine. Once again, you guys, hopefully you guys like this. You enjoyed the video, and something, I know we just did a seat, but this is kind of different. You know what I mean? This one is definitely different. Get this back a little more. I think this is all good here. That's cool with that diamond in there. Turned out good. My TV cut off, so I don't know if you guys can see all this. I hope. Really get it relaxed. All right. There we go. Man, you guys, that's real cool. I like it.
Really? That's amazing.
You can't see, it's hard to see the burgundy stitching in the black, and even the black and the red, but in person, it's pretty freaking awesome. All right. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get it a little clip on it with it on the bike. I'm sure we can. That way you guys can check it out on the bike too. Hopefully you guys can see all that somewhat. Pretty cool, man. Yeah, I can't tell what I'm doing. My TV's off up top, the little screen. Hopefully you guys can see all that. I'll check it when I'm editing. Real nice. All right, I'll bring you guys back when we're doing the headrest. I might just do the one on video because it's going to be the same thing on both. One just has a zipper slip fit, and the other one staples on the back like that. So maybe we'll do the zipper one since it's more complicated, just so you guys can see how the zipper thing works out. But other than that, once again, you guys, appreciate everything. All the likes, shares, subscribes. Let me know what you think about this seat. Let me know what you think. You know what I mean? Let me know if it's something you guys like seeing like that. You know, there's a few other guys wanting seats done, and I'm sure they're all going to be a little different. So we'll keep the main stuff out that you guys have seen before. Well, I keep doing that, but as far as the different patterns and designs, we'll bring that back in there. Just try to make something out of it, something of it. So, but yeah, appreciate it, guys. We'll see you soon. All right. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Unfortunately, after Jeff picked his motorcycle up, they went out riding. Everything was a happy, great day. He loved the seat. Everything worked out good on that part there. On his way home, it was about 10 o'clock at night, I guess, and he was almost home, and he seen a couple deer to the right and one to the left. He said he was going about just average speed, 40, whatever, not fast or anything. He just cruises. He looked over at the two, I guess, and the one jumped out of the curb and hit him in the side of the head and knocked him down in a ditch and tumbled with his self and the bike. And I guess he laid in that field for a couple hours until his neighbor found him. And then they finally got there and they life flighted him out. He did come out. Thank God, it didn't take his life, but he is banged up. He's got to wear a back brace and a neck brace for a while. He's without work. Yeah, just for those of you guys that ride bikes, slingshots, whatever it is, pay attention. Something I do sometimes that helps when I see a deer from a distance is start hitting my horn. I have noticed it does scare them off. I think those things you put on your vehicle and stuff, the little whistler things, that kind of does the same purpose, but they don't work as, people, they're kind of 50-50 on if they work or not. But toot the horn, do what you can. If you're on the bike, rev the engine up, do what you got to do to get them things out of your way, because you don't know what they're going to do, left, right, forward, whatever they're going to do. This thing jumped into his head, right in his ear. You should see, I wish I could show you guys, but, blasting him in the ear, blood was coming out of it. Okay, you can imagine a big deer hit him. you know, full throttle jumping out of that ditch. So imagine that, you know, that was probably horrible. But yeah, that's what I do. I just blast the horn, do what I can. But please pay attention, be careful out there. You know, things do happen with these, with the bikes. You know, it ain't always somebody hitting you. You know, there's animals that fly in front of you. Fortunately, Jeff made it out of it, you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that things like that happen, and we're not always going to see it, but pay attention, you know, pay attention, please, please, please pay attention. But that's about it, man. That's about it on this video here. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, all the likes, share, subscribes, all that, you know, I appreciate it so much. I got another one coming out too. It's a pretty cool seat I'm doing for the tent guy's Harley. It's pretty nice. It's a nice orange pattern, but check it out. If you guys want to check that one out, it's pretty nice. But yeah, thanks so much, you guys. Until the next one.